I met these speakers a little while ago through a video collaboration with RG Foundation, which is the new charity arm of Reward Gateway. So this session we're going to be talking about embracing true diversity in the workforce and uniting people through a shared purpose. So I'd like you please to welcome to the seating area my lovely panelists. So come on up, guys. Oh, there is some music. Yeah, I thought there was going to be a bit of music going on there. That's my summit music, by the way. It's also my karaoke song. Okay, so guys, we're just going to pass the mic around. Before we get stuck into this, perhaps you could just introduce yourselves, who you are, what you do. That'd be great. Start with you, Ollie.
Hi everyone, I'm Ollie. I work for Honest Burgers as head of recruitment. I've been at Honest Burgers for nearly 3 years now, heading up the recruitment team and then the charity partnerships team. Thank you very much for coming today.
Chanel.
Hi, I'm Chanel. I'm a chef at Honest Burgers. I'm also an ex-offender. And I hope you take away a lot that I have to share with you today. Thanks for coming.
Hi everyone, my name's Emma. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Working Chance. Working Chance are the UK's only recruitment consultancy for women with a conviction or women who have had care, experience of the care system. So we put those women into work.
Brilliant. So thanks for that, guys. Maybe we could... because we've all met each other, obviously. Maybe we could just give the audience a little bit of context as to kind of how you all know each other. Emma, if we could start with you on that one.
So as part of our candidate engagement offer, we go into prisons. One of those prisons is HMP Downview, which is situated in Sutton in Surrey. And we run what we call employability events over the course of 3 days. And at the end of 3 days, we invite our corporate partners in to help us deliver the last workshop of the course. Chanel was at one of the employability events, not as a candidate or potential candidate, but she was catering for the prison and for the particular event, and that's how we met Chanel.
I was based at HMP Downview. Serving a sentence, and when I got towards the end of my sentence, I started to engage with Working Chance. I had a bakery that I set up in the prison, and that's why I was catering, and I happened to engage with them at the time. And then while I was working with them, I developed new skills, and then Honest Burgers came in. They liked what they seen clearly and what they tasted. And when I got released, I ended up with a job. So, yeah.
Do you want to add anything there?
Yeah. No, literally, that was the intro with myself and Chanel. So we kind of get taken into a room within the prison. So it's myself plus maybe 10 other employers. And I was there eating this carrot cake and then these chicken goujons. And they were absolutely amazing. And anyway, so I started speaking to Chanel, actually thinking Chanel was one of the employers. So didn't actually realise, she had made any of this food. Or she was one of the inmates at the time. So we were just speaking for a bit, for a few moments, and then she told me actually she had made all this, and I mean it was quite a variety, a really really good spread. And then she told me how she set up the bakery within the prison, and it was probably at that kind of moment I thought, wow, and I don't think I was allowed to, but I did anyway, and I said, contact me as soon as you can, and we're opening a restaurant in Reading. You've almost got the job. And that was pretty much how it was, wasn't it, really?
Wasn't there something to do with a carrot cake as well? Was that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That was the
yeah.
cake.
As my mouth was full. That's how I was saying it. And really from there, and Chanel's only one of the fine examples, but obviously that have been other ladies as well that we've met through the Working Chance and the prison as well that have gone on a very similar journey that Chanel has. So for us, it was an amazing talent pool to dig into, to find some great employees for the business.
So kind of leading on from that, on your website there's the whole kind of UBU thing, which is seems important to the Honest Burger culture, and because this area is all about purpose, mission and values as well, how does that kind of fit in with this? Can you tell us a little bit more about the UBU, what that is exactly, and how that fits in with your partnership with Working Chance as well?
So I think a lot of companies now use the phrase UBU or be you or just be yourself at work. I'm a real firm believer that you have to show it. You have to believe it. Don't just say it. Don't put it on a job advert and then leave it there. I think that's maybe where some companies can go or haven't thought thorough enough about it. So I think we take it from the job advert and then follow it through. So I guess just to give a few examples, uniform. We want employees to come to work wearing what they want to. As if they can literally just leave having lunch with their friends or family, come straight to work and feel like they're in and amongst their other friends and family. So they can literally transfer from one to another. We really feel the best hospitality comes out if you can feel yourself at work and you can feel you can speak to the owner or your manager or your peers. We've got a very flat hierarchy, so all our employees are able to do that. But that also includes their family as well. Hospitality, you work long hours, late nights. A lot of our staff might get home at 1 in the morning, 1:30, 2 in the morning. And a lot of them do have kids and partners. But we want their kids and partners and friends to feel a part of the business as well. So, one of our one of the perks is all of our staff members can bring up to 4 friends for a free meal at any of the Honest Burgers restaurants once a month. And that's because we want them to bring their friends and family so they can feel proud of where they work. So that really comes under the UBU mission statement as well. Because it's important, right? To retain our staff. So,
yeah, definitely. And so, Chanel, now that you've heard Ollie say that, as an employee, so first of all, as an employee, what does working for a company that has a mission, a higher purpose, how important is that to you? And do you feel that happens at Honest Burger as well?
Yeah. So I think that working for Honest Burgers is like it's an incredible job to have. Like, I don't feel like I'm working every day. I feel like I'm going on holiday or I'm going to chill out. Like, it is hard work, but because of their mission and because of the way that they treat their staff, it makes me want to work harder for them. It makes me want to help them get to where they need to be. Like, it makes you want to encourage other people that are just starting with them to follow the same route. So, yeah.
What's your journey been like since you've kind of started chefing with them?
It's gone so fast. I've been working with them for about 8.5 months, and I've gone from going in, just starting, never having a job before, never having a paid job, and being a prep chef to training to be a second chef now. Like, I've had great feedback. I've got a burger that's going onto the menu that I've created. It's crazy. It's like being whirlwind. But I'm so grateful for the opportunity, and it's not like I expected anything back from it, because I have enough. Just having that job is enough for me. I haven't had friends, I haven't had family around me, but just having Honest is enough for me. Yeah, so I'm really happy with my progress.
You're making me smile. You're making me smile incredibly. Emma, so coming at it from your point of view, from Working Chance, what do you look like what do you look for when you're placing a candidate, when you're working with employers?
One of the things that really sets us apart from other women's charities is that we acknowledge that women who have a past aren't necessarily victims. They have certain vulnerabilities that are really hard to deny, but when you strip all of those back, they're humans, they're creative in Chanel's case, they're intelligent, they're passionate, they're caring, they're great problem solvers, they're entrepreneurial. So they're the things that we look for in all of our candidates, and they're the things that you look for in any candidate before you employ them. And then I suppose that the hardest part is looking for an employer that values their diversity and is going to monopolise on their diversity and develop them as employees. So they're the two things that we look for, and then we match them together. So the reason why this works is because Honest Burgers care about people and they value diversity. And the reason that Chanel's being sustained in her employment is because she's challenged at work. She's given autonomy, she's enabled to be creative, she's valued, she's respected. That's really there's no magic formula, it is what it is. Really simple stuff.
I suppose can you tell really quickly if it's not going to work, if a relationship's not going to work, or?
I like to think that if we're doing our jobs, we're recruiters, and you vet people properly and you understand your clients' brands and values and what they're looking for out of a particular post. Typically they work. I think last year we placed 209 women into paid roles. 86% of them were sustained for 6 months or more in their role. So I think we've got a pretty good track record, especially in the hospitality field, where turnover is really high.
Yeah. Can you give us maybe a bit more context as to kind of the issue of placing women or kind of ex-offenders in general after work, why that's such a big focus for you guys as a charity?
I think the hardest part when you're looking for work for an ex-offender is that often they've been told by pretty much everyone in their world that they'll never amount to anything. And these are people that, these aren't necessarily people who've got a string of parking fines and they're in custody for 2 weeks. These are people who've made pretty bad decisions or, have come from really difficult circumstances, care and broken homes and domestic violence situations. And often their actions, they're silly, of course, but they were made under duress. I think that's the tricky part about working with ex-offenders, and one of the things that we work really hard to do is, whilst we acknowledge that yes, that is part of the person, it doesn't define them. And they have huge amounts of potential if they're given a chance to reach their, for those opportunities and give it a go. So that's a tricky bit, is sort of challenging the rhetoric and the narrative around women who are often sort of labelled or put in boxes as victims or harlots. That's people sort of think about ex-offenders as tattoo laden and rough and poorly educated. Well, they're not. That's not true. And then on the other side of the coin is finding employers who are willing to sort of hear what you're saying about ex-offenders and what potential they might have, and look at their hiring practices. Lots of employers that we work with for years before they hire one of our women, because they've got these matrices that preclude anyone with a conviction to apply. So we're working with HR teams constantly talking about, well, what might hiring ex-offenders look like in your workplace and how can you make that happen? But it's a long process, and with big companies, you've got to talk to 3 or 4 different departments. So it might start at the top. You might meet a great chief exec who says, yes, I want to diversify our workplace in this way. We want to employ women, we want to employ ex-offenders. But by the time it gets down to the people who are responsible for actually making it happen, it's so watered down, the concept is misunderstood, and people are fearful of that. So they're the things that sort of the most challenging things about the work that we do. But again, it's really, I mean, it's proof is in the carrot cake.
Or the burger.
It's really simple if you strip it back. I mean, women ex-offenders have the right to work, they have children to feed, they have bills to pay. They've served their time, and we need to be a part of the solution. And part of the solution is offering them the same opportunities that you and I have, instead of putting boundaries and obstacles in their way.
Definitely, yeah. Chanel, I just wanted to see if there's anything you wanted to add to that as someone who's kind of been through the system, and whether there's anything that you'd like to see change, or, you know, with your own experience.
Yeah, well, firstly, I just want to say that, you know, as an ex-offender, I've witnessed women in prison and the distress their actions get them into. When we're in prison, we're not just sitting there serving our sentences. We're not just sitting there laying idle and getting up to more mischief. We're not doing that. We're constantly working 24 hours a day, thinking about our actions, and trying to work on ourselves and be better people, so that when we get out, we can use those skills. If employers don't give ex-offenders the chance to do that, then it's all been for nothing. It's a vicious cycle. It's just going to keep going round and round and round until, before they know it, their lives have just passed them by, and they've because nobody's given them the opportunity to do it. I'm not saying that everyone makes changes to their lives, because the reality is people will go back and make mistakes, and so will employers by picking those people to come and work. But do you know what? Everyone's allowed to make mistakes, and it's not the end of the world if that person makes a mistake while they're working for these companies. It's not the end of the world, because there will be another ex-offender that will come along and they might blow you away. So just always try and keep in the back of your minds that, you know, we are human, we are relevant, and there are people like me that will come and they will work so hard for you, because the job is the only thing that's keeping them going. That's it.
Nice. Thank you. So there might be some people in the room who would love to start a partnership like Working Chance and Honest Burger, but don't really know how. Maybe, Ollie, have you got any advice for any of those people that might be sitting here today? Call Emma.
We actually had a chat about this, because I think we were one of the first hospitality clients, and now they've got quite a few, and ultimately we have general managers asking for more and more of the ladies, so I don't want to give them too many away. But go and see and go and visit them for yourselves. That's really how our partnership started. Within a week of talking to the Working Chance, we were in the prison, came away inspired by the amount of ladies, well, all the ladies that we met, and what they're doing inside the prison. As Chanel said, you know, they're working their socks off to get a better chance once they get released. So yeah, I would say, you know, go and meet the ladies for yourselves. And also, repeating what Chanel said, you know, one person might not work out. It doesn't mean everyone's going to work out. But that's no different to someone without a conviction at all. And that's, I think, that's something to think about. That yeah, that's basically it.
Definitely, yeah. Well, Emma, do you want to add anything to that? Maybe any advice for people getting through senior leadership teams or trying to get sign-off for initiatives?
Yeah, I think be persistent is the key. Don't take no for an answer. I just wanted to clarify, we work with loads of businesses in the hospitality and food sectors, but we also place women in executive roles in HR, for example. So we operate an open door policy. So anyone with a conviction, any woman with a conviction can come to us. And often we'll work with women with really refined sets of skills and great professional experience, and we're placing them back into their careers. Last month we placed a nurse back into a nursing career, a PA to the executive directors of a foundation, as well as servers at Pizza Pilgrims and Honest Burgers. So we require all sorts of roles, and actually the higher level roles and the more skilled roles are few and far between, because we're not seen to be perhaps a talent solution for those levels. So, if you want to talk to us, or probably our head of recruitment's much better, he's got loads more experience getting into onto PSLs and things like that. But if you want to talk to us, just pick up the phone. The other thing is we have a calendar of corporate volunteering opportunities, and that gives sort of senior people or decision makers or those with that hold the purse strings a really intimate and interesting and hopefully inspirational insight into the work that takes place before we put a CV in front of you. We do a huge amount of work, not with Chanel because she was good to go pretty much. I'm surprised they didn't cut us out of the equation completely, thanks Chanel. But we do huge amounts of work with women to make sure that they can disclose their conviction with confidence, and they're giving you all the information they need about their crime. And so you can believe that they don't present as any risk to your business. We go through CVs, we do star examples, we do speed interviews, one-to-one coaching, mentoring, everything that a woman needs. And we also have a network of specialist providers who support women to deal with their housing, the drug and alcohol, their mental health, getting custody of their kids back. So any barriers to work, they're dealt with before you meet our candidates. So it should be as easy as using a mainstream consultancy, but far, far more affordable.
Yeah, and I'd like to just echo the volunteering days. We spent a day, there was a team of 4 of us. We spent a day with the team at Working Chance at Downview, and it is a really eye-opening day. One of the girls, Charlotte, is in the audience as well today, and the team came back, with a real kind of energy about them, had a great day. And one of the best things I remember, you do all sorts of activities, and then there was one moment at the end of the day when you just looked out and you couldn't tell who was an ex-offender and who was from the corporate world. It was, everyone was just a person, and it was really, really a great thing to do. So I'm conscious that we've got 3 minutes left, so I just wanted to open up to the floor and see if anyone has any burning questions for the guys, if there's anything anyone would like to ask.
Anyway, do you come up against anything when you start talking to employers about the Rehabilitation of Offenders Act?
Employers tend to know a great deal about
Thank you.
ex-offenders, generally speaking, so it's not something that would come up in conversation regularly at all. I think that the thing that we say to employers is you judge a woman by her conviction, not by her convictions. And the thing that we really stress is that you don't have to hire our staff, and we're not asking you to out of charity. You hire our talent because they're the best candidate for the job. And they're the best candidate for the job is because they've gone through the same competitive process as all of the other candidates did who you didn't give the job. It's really that simple. So Chanel is rehabilitated. Chanel takes responsibility for her past decisions. She served her time. She can tell you, there's lists and lists of, if she wrote down everything she'd done to better herself, you could list the A4 paper all the way across the room, head to tail, that she's done so much. So rehabilitation, it doesn't tend to be a topic of conversation because the women that we represent are rehabilitated. They're ready to go. They're ready to re-enter mainstream society and, earn a living.
Great. Is there anything else you guys want to add at all?
Will just actually had
Yeah?
There you go, mate. Chanel is actually, I've actually just told her this about half an hour ago. She's actually up for an award. So we have a yearly awards night at Honest Burgers. And she's been nominated for Best Newcomer within the business. So across kind of 600 staff. So really... So yeah, so that's just an example of the hard work that she's done and gone through as well.
Nice. What a good way to end it. Well, thank you all so much for sharing your story with everyone today. And thank you guys for listening.